Assassin's Creed Shadows is only an hour or so away from official release. And when it does, it's gonna be one of the biggest disasters in gaming history. It's gonna make Dragon Age the Veil God look like absolutely nothing, like a breeze through the air, honestly. Because the shill reviews for Assassin's Creed Shadows have already dropped, and we saw them. They are so bad. They ignore all the bad things about the game. They try so desperately to portray the game in a even remotely positive way. We have seen Luke Steffens drop his shill review. We have even seen a Legacy Kill HD drop his shill review, which is insane because typically he's not a shill channel. But I mean, make that bread, buddy. I can't blame you, honestly. And it looks bad so far. It looks so bad. It looks so painful. It looks so dull. And I mean, it's just getting worse.
Hey, what's up, guys? Riff here. So we're only one day away from the official global release of Assassin's Creed Shadows, and right now, Ubisoft's got to be sweating because they need this game to succeed, and just when you think things just can't get any worse for them, it has. The last 2 days have been an absolute disaster for Ubisoft and this game, who by their own admission needs to succeed. We see Ubisoft devs here confirming this is a high stakes game they're playing with Assassin's Creed Shadows, where if the game performs moderately, they're in big trouble. And that's not
Yep, I told you. I told you this last video that my prediction is even if they say sell 10 million copies, which is probably still a disaster because most likely this needs at least 15 million copies to make Ubisoft non-liquid, which is never going to happen. I personally think that this game could maybe sell 2 million copies, but honestly, it may even perform worse than that. It may even undersell below 2 million copies, which would be the lowest an Assassin's Creed game has ever sold, which would be the lowest margin that anyone probably has ever expected this to do. And the funniest part, of course, is this was Assassin's Creed in Japan. And since the start of Assassin's Creed, fans have begged Ubisoft to make an Assassin's Creed game, a game in Asia, Japan, or something like that, right? And they didn't. And the reason why they didn't is because Ubisoft at the time, though all those years ago, knew that if they make an Assassin's Creed game in Japan, it is gonna be the most ridiculously hot-selling thing. It's gonna probably sell 40 million copies. It's gonna make $1 billion. It's gonna be GTA 5 levels of absolute unmitigated success. And if they do that, well, congratulations. There's no way you're making your bonus next year or after next year because there's nothing that Ubisoft can do to compete. So they left Assassin's Creed Shadows, aka Assassin's Creed Japan, on the shelf in case they needed to do something to earn a lot of money because bad things happening. And now it is bad things happening. Ubisoft is soon going to be defunct, bankrupt, in layman's terms. And now they're pulling out the Assassin's Creeds in Japan. And all they had to do was not make it a rewrite of Japanese history with a black dude in the center of it. And this thing could have easily sold at least 10 million copies because it's not blatant, on-the-nose, consumer-hating trash. But Ubisoft couldn't even do that. This is the game that could have easily made them literally multiple billions. And yet they completely fucked it up because of some woke ideology, political leaning BS. Absolute insanity.
too surprising, and also all this flies in the face of people who try to defend the second delay of this game, claiming they were trying to basically wait this out and let some of the controversy blow over. If that's the truth, that was
Not
a
happening.
massive miscalculation, because over the past month, there's only been more
Also, I talked about that. That people are gonna remember, people are not gonna forget the black guy in Asia who kills everyone.
controversy, including more controversy over the past 2 days that we're going to cover in this video. It's looking really grim for them. We're going to be talking about their attempts to basically weaponize their legal team to try to silence critics. They're also going around and punishing some content creators for trying to stream this game with their approval, by the way. We also see some more official responses regarding the Shrine controversy. And most damning of all, we're going to be looking at the gameplay and cutscenes that people are now sharing over the past 24 hours. And my god, they're as bad as you could possibly imagine, not just with buggy issues and things like that, but also some very woke stuff that you really won't believe until you see it. So, let's begin somewhat in a chronological order because there's been a lot that's happened over the past 2 days or so. I want to get you guys to understand the build-up that we're seeing before this release. So, a couple days ago, the embargo for reviews was released, meaning the people had orders ahead of time. They can now release their official reviews of this game, and you can see the Metascore of this is an 82, which is kind of just what people expected. It's kind of middle of the road.
Yeah, I mean, this is a solid 9 out of 10 return to form moment in IGN standards, right?
Nothing great, nothing terrible, but you're going to see, if you look through the reviews, it's a giant hive mind. We saw this with Dragon Age the Veilguard as
well. It is return to form. Oh, Rev, don't show all of this. I'm gonna probably check Twitter for another video on this. Don't spoil everything, you little tease.
Well, you can see all of these reviews from IGN, GameSpot, PC Gamer, and so on and so forth, all using the same language over and over again. A return to form, return to form.
I mean, it is the hot thing. That's the literal same thing that they did with Dragon Age Veilguard, by the way. A return to form. Well, when a company is down, anything good is a return to form. That's why they use it. This is not necessarily even paid for reviews, but it's just like, hey, they haven't done anything even remotely useful in like literally forever now, and they're on the back foot, so it's a return to form. This is not even necessarily paid for, even though I would not be surprised if it was.
Return to form, a return to greatness, return to form, so on and so forth. And that's not too surprising because at this point, all these games journalists, they're just regurgitating the same stuff the guy before them said, right? If IGN's the first one that comes out with an article review, they basically just copy and paste that message in their own article review. And it goes on and on like a human centipede of games journalism, and you can see the absolute mess that it creates. But on top of that, look at some of the reviews, right? And are you supposed to trust these? So you have VG247, who gave this a 100, a perfect score. But then they start off the review, the first sentence, and they say, there are problems.
Yeah, I mean, this is clearly bullshit. There are problems with Assassin's Creed Shadows for sure. But 10 out of 10. Or 100 out of 100, I guess, here.
With Assassin's Creed Shadows, but still gave it a perfect score. I mean, are these people serious? And then it gets even worse, as pointed out here. You look at their review for Ghost of Tsushima, a 60. They gave that a 60, but Assassin's Creed Shadows, a 100, a perfect.
Well, wait. They're gonna make it up with Ghost of Yotei. It's gonna be 100 out of 100, trust me. Why? Because, well... Ghost of Yotei, did it have any gay love scenes? No. Did it have not any non-binary 15th, 16th century Asian people? No. Did it have a strong, independent female protagonist that don't need no man? No. It's an absolute failure. I would have given it a 4 out of 10 for being that bad.
Perfect score? Yeah, that's why I don't trust any of these reviews at all. On top of that, around the same time the embargo was lifted, we had a situation with this VTuber named Olivia Monroe who got permission. They got a sponsored stream opportunity for Assassin's Creed Shadows. They had direct permission from you.
Let me guess. This is the one. Again, the reason why we saw all of these... this is no mistake. The reason why we watched Legacy Kills HD video yesterday is because, I mean, he's typically not for wokeisms or anything like that, but yeah, he's not gonna risk Ubisoft striking him because he's saying bad things about the game on launch day. So you need to play it safe. Otherwise, Ubisoft's not going to be happy because, I mean, hey, listen, Ubisoft may not exist after a month, and these people may not have a job after a month. I mean, if it's time to go wild and do crazy shit, this is the time to do it.
Ubisoft to stream early access of this game on Twitch. Well, how did that go? Well, unfortunately, a few minutes into that sponsored stream, she was banned. Ubisoft pulled the plug on this stream. Now, you're probably wondering,
Let's
how did
go.
this happen? She had permission for this. Well, let's see.
Because bad things were said.
What they had to say on Discord. There's a couple screenshots going around. She said, I got my stream time approved. I was emailed 5 minutes ago saying that I was in breach of the embargo, even though it was approved, and then boom, they got hit with a ban. On top of that, they explained further saying Ubisoft approved my time because they read it as 7 p.m., not 7 a.m. So they streamed, I believe, at 7 a.m., and Ubisoft thought they meant 7 p.m. So when they saw them go live early, according to their understanding, they decided to pull the plug on the stream and ban this individual. Which is...
Nah, they would have banned him if they said anything bad anyway.
An
100%.
100% indictment on Ubisoft. They messed up here. They were the ones who clearly messed up, and now this promoted, sponsored stream was a complete disaster. Luckily, about 5 hours later, the ban was removed because, duh, but still, I'm pretty sure it's on the record for Twitch. So this whole situation is just an absolute mess. Another bad look for Ubisoft, who looked like they weren't doing their homework on this situation. But another thing people are talking a lot about is this right here. So this is a report saying Ubisoft has reportedly enlisted a team of lawyers to sue players who harass Assassin's Creed Shadows developers. And of course...
Oh, yeah, we know what this is.
What do they mean by harassment? A lot of people are interpreting that as criticism. Criticism might be on the chopping block.
Oh, no. This is the cease and desist shit from Smash JT, which is insane. When I read that, I thought it's fake. It had spelling errors. It had literally sentences fucking repeating. It used big words in wrong contexts. Like, my fucking god. Was that horrible. Okay, and it turned out it was real. So this most likely has to do with that.
For Ubisoft. But I think the answer to this is really simple. I don't think there's any reason to go after the devs, even on a critical level. A lot of people have remained focused on the game itself.
I mean, the devs are at fault here, make no mistake. It's the devs who made this game.
A lot of people at Ubisoft working on this. It's not a situation where we have, you know, like the usual suspects in other studios where you have one individual developer going on social media and saying wild stuff and then causing issue for the company. Really, people are just looking at Ubisoft and this game itself and saying there's a lot of inaccuracies, there's a lot of issues and controversies, and that's what people have been focusing on. So I don't think this is something that people should be too afraid of, but it's a bad look for Ubisoft, and I would just recommend leaving any of this alone because in terms of the developers going after them in any sort of a harassment level, because they're itching to make a lawsuit right now. Clearly, they're trying very hard to set this up so they can catch someone. But just focus on the gameplay right now and focus on Ubisoft as a company.
They're not gonna do anything.
And I think everyone in this situation will be fine. But let's not just underplay the fact that they literally are hiring the bully hunters. Okay, not literally, but figuratively speaking here, they're hiring the bully hunters. And if you know about this whole situation from many years back, you understand
it's
why
hilarious.
That's so funny. But Assassin's Creed Shadows on Twitter, they're getting ready. Right? Despite all of this recent controversy, they're gearing up. They're ready for the release tomorrow. What else could happen? Oh, probably the most damning thing. Gameplay gets shared. Gameplay and cutscenes are being shared all over Twitter.
Oh no, that's the next thing that we're gonna watch, Revan. It's gonna be hilarious. Don't spoil any of this for me, okay? Let's go here without spoilers. That's next video.
The outrage over the shrine incident in the game. So if you don't know, there was a clip going around where Yasuke can go into a shrine in the game that's based on real-life counterparts. He can go in there and destroy it and kill people in there and all that stuff. Obviously, it's the player's choice, but some people in Japan were upset about this, especially people who operate those shrines. People who go there for religious purposes, they are offended by this. And it was something that was reported in an article about a month ago. And I
Now, granted, we don't know if the Ubisoft fixed that, or was that an actual like not real thing. But I mean, it doesn't matter at this point. Wow, one of the 500 things that's wrong with this game that people hate was not real. Wow, yeah, that makes it so much better. No, it doesn't.
reported on that, and many others did as well on YouTube. And we were told that we were basically lying about this, and that no one was upset about this shrine, and that the article, because it was made from a tabloid, it wasn't trustworthy, and we were all just making this up. Well, a few days ago, we talked about the official response from this member of the prefectural assembly here, and how he was talking with heads and priests from the shrines, and they're very, very upset, and they were demanding a government response in Japan. And it turns out that's exactly what's happening.
By the way, yeah, that's what's gonna happen. The government of Japan is not happy.
Apparently, the Japanese national diet is addressing this issue specifically. Okay, the highest forms of government here, they're talking about Ubisoft and Assassin's Creed Shadows. And obviously, they're not happy. Okay? And this is happening one day before release. One day. This is how cooked Ubisoft in this game is. It's actually insane that all of this is happening. And I might expand further on this because there's a lot of details coming out about this. And
I will expand further. We're literally going on Twitter now and gonna check what's happening there because, man, I heard there's a lot of gay romance options and I ain't missing that, buddy, okay? Anyway, that was Rev Says This, so bye!